Hello everyone, I welcome back you all to my YouTube channel. My name is Rajat and today we are going to cover a super important topic, that is args and kwargs. Basically, in your functions there are parameters, and then in the previous video I spoke to you about the function in detail, then we implemented some of the example, and then I spoke about the parameters. What are the parameters? But now we have some hybrid parameters, those are known as args and kwargs. Using these two, basically you can implement so many hybrid operations. You can use multiple type of different scenarios which you cannot using the default and keyword and positional parameters. So on that note, I would request you to stay back with me till the end of this video, because this is going to be super important and a one-stop shop for args and kwargs, and you will be totally clear by the end of this video. So let's move forward without wasting your time. So guys, as I said about these parameters, first we'll cover the theory, and I have kept the theory very minimalistic so that it can directly give you some logic and we should not wait much for the theory to complete. Now, what is arg and kwarg? That is obviously first question you will ask, okay? So this is args and kwargs, and you need to remember that with args you will use one asterisk sign, and with kwarg you will use two asterisk sign. Okay, that's how the syntax is. So this allow you to pass a variable number of argument to a function. What is variable number? That means when you don't have the fixed length of your arguments, then you can use any of them depending on the need. I'll just clarify when you will use args and when you will use kwargs. So they are super useful when you don't know in advance how many argument a function might be able to use. See, this is very important. This line I will highlight and you need to keep a focus on this. When you don't know in advance how many arguments a function might receive, inside a function how many argument you are going to pass, that you don't have a clear picture. So in that case you use both of them. Now let's talk about it much more in detail. So args basically handle only the positional parameter, okay, and kwargs handle keyword parameter. Okay, in addition to that, like unnamed arguments, when you don't have the name with the argument, okay, and keywords when you have name argument as a key value pair. What is key value pair? We spoke in dictionary when we were talking about key value pair. Okay, so what is the example of key? Let's say name. A name column is there in your data, so name is a key. And what is a value? Value can be anything. It can be Rajat, it can be Ashu, it can be Ankur. So all of them are value, but key is something which is unique, because key is primary key which we use in SQL. So this is the same concept there, guys. Okay, now args handle keyword parameter. What is keyword parameter? When you have, let's say, value like this, when you pass a parameter with a keyword, when you write name equal to double ticks Rajat in your parameter, that is a keyword parameter. And when you pass only Rajat in parameters, okay, so that is a positional parameter. So that's what we are talking here. Now data types inside the functions, how we handle the data type. Now inside star args, it's treated as a tuple. What is tuple? Tuple is immutable collection of data. Okay, that is also so many variety of data. It's not it's moreover like you can understand then when you have so many data. Like I'll tell you in a better way. Let's say we have a name also, then we have a mathematical value, let's say 25,000 also. And the bracket is super important because this bracket is used with tuple. If you change this bracket to this bracket, that is known as a list. Now inside this tuple, I have the name, I have the salary, also I have the age. So that is combination is a tuple. Now what is dictionary? Because args is treated as a dictionary. When it talks about the key value pair, I told you guys that dictionary is what? It's a combination of key and value. Okay. Now on that note, this is a overall theoretical part of that. Okay. In addition to that, let me talk about super important things now, one by one. So we'll go in this video first on the args and why it is named arg. Okay. And then we have second topic, which is double asterisk and kwargs. So these are the two things. Now let me remove all this what I have written Now it's much more clear to you guys. Let me move on and talk by one, and then we'll see the differences also in the last of the video, like what exactly is the difference between both of them. I have listed down couple of super important differences for all of you. So this video, if you stay till the end, you will learn a lot, I assure you guys. Now let's talk about args. Okay, let's talk about args one more time. And args is what? It's a non-keyword argument used to pass a variable length of non-keyword argument, again positional argument, to a function. Inside the function, args is treated as a tuple. Just remember this. You have to remember this. Args is treated as a tuple. Tuple, what are the quality of tuple? Tuple is immutable. What is immutable? Immutable means that you cannot make any difference in the tuple. You cannot do any changes in the tuple. Once it is created, so you cannot make change in the existing tuple, although you can copy it and create a new one and you can do the changes. But in the tuple, you cannot basically exist any change. That is simple. Now, feature of args. Accept multiple positional arguments, which I told you, name, age, salary, whatever you want to pass, you can do. The arguments are sorted in a tuple. That is one more thing. And you can iterate over them or access them using the indexing. What is index? So let's say I have a tuple 1, 2, and 3. So what index say? If I start index from this side, it will say this is 0 index, this is 1 index, this is 2 index. And if I start the index like which is negative indexing, so this will be -1 index, -2, and -3. So that's how the index whole function works. Now let's talk about some real life example of args and kwargs one by one. So first I'll talk about args. Okay. Now my objective is to sum of the numbers. So how I write that function here? Let me explain that def keyword is you always use with the user defined function. Then the name of the function you will give here, and then you will pass just args. In the previous video, I told you guys, right? I'll tell you again, since you should know this. Usually when you pass the positional parameter, so you will pass with the function name, let's say age, name, and salary. Now writing so much code is a hassle, which you don't want to do. Now you just use kwargs here. So when you use kwargs, what you are doing? You are just bypassing this step to write so much of code. And then what you're doing? You're just writing the function inside this, that total, you're creating a variable equal to some function of args. Now, this is a simple example, okay? So going forward, you'll understand, like we'll pass multiple of the option inside the parameter. Now here I'm just using it for some purpose, right? So sum is equal to, total is equal to sum. Now args, all the parameter you will pass, the sum of that is shifted or assigned to the total value, right? Then we are printing the sum is, and then we are resolving this value. Using f string inside the print statement, you basically can resolve any value. Then I'm calling my function on line number 27, sum numbers, and I'm just passing the parameters. So you can see there is a variable length, right? I can pass 5 also, I can pass 500 also, 50 also, whatever you want to. So now let me run this code. Let me run this small piece of code, then we'll move to the other example. How to run this in VS Code? Shift enter, you just press. So you can see the sum is 15, not 25. So let's make it 25. Now I'll make it 25. I'll just add one more parameter here. Just make sure you pass a new parameter and make sure you're giving a comma. Okay, now I'll run this code again. So the sum is 25. That's now it's proved, right, that you can do a you can do a positional parameter replication by using the args option here. Now let's move on to the other option. That is the second example. Now here I am creating a function join strings, and again I'm passing the args. Make sure that you pass the colon for the indentation. Okay, then there is a variable result, and what I am doing, I'm just giving a blank value here in the ticks. Okay, so that there will be a blank there. Then what I'm doing, I'm just giving a join condition and args, and then I'm printing. I'll tell you why I'm giving this, why I'm writing this line number 31. So what I'm doing, I'm just printing this and I'm resolving the result value. Now when I call the join string, so how many values I'm passing? Can you see that? Hello world, Python is awesome. Let me close the repo. So many words are there. If you don't pass arguments like this, args, how you will do that? That is going to be really tough. Now, because of that, we would be giving this join condition because we want to join all these value, but we want to keep a space. And if instead of this space, I mention underscore, so the underscore will be falling between all these value. Let me do it for you guys. Let's run this. Can you see what is a string here? There is an underscore. After every word, it's picking underscore. So what I am doing, I'm just giving the value what you want to join after every argument. Okay. Now you may ask like why this, how this functionality is working. Okay. So let me explain a bit functionality here, how the functionality will support. So first, hello will be called. Okay. Hello went there. But do you think that there is a underscore, then it will write hello? No, it doesn't work like that. So join condition, how it works basically, it will process all of these and it will pass this value to your line number 31. But when arguments picks it, so every word is a different argument for them. So it will pick the first one, then it will put the underscore. So not in as a prefix, it will not put that. After hello, processing hello, it will put underscore after every word until the end. And you can see that after awesome also there is no underscore. Okay. So that's how this whole processing will work here. In addition to this, if I pass this blank, so I don't want to put underscore, or you guys can put any value which you like. Now I'll run this code so you can see this whole string is printed. So for that you need to remember that how you will use join. Join actually helps here. Okay. I think it's pretty much clear. Let's move to the third example. So third example talks about accessing argument loop. Okay. So basically I'm writing a for loop which would be executing one by one. For I value in this particular value which I'm assigning. What is the use of this? This is a class. Okay. Return an enormous object. So that's how we use this in Python. This is very useful. And then I'm just writing a print message. I'm writing the value of the iteration, then I'm just giving the value, assignment of the value, like how many, this I talks about how many iterations the loop is running. So that's what it will print. It will show you the iteration like this. The first time the loop will run, the value will be 10. The second time the loop will run, the value will be 20. So the iteration number and the value of that. That's how this will function. Now let me select this and then run this. So this is pretty much understood, guys. That's what we are printing, right? Argument is a print message and then we are resolving these two values. If you remove the argument, which is just as a print message, if I remove that, so you will only see the value. So now you will see 0 index is 10, 1 index is this, second index is this. Okay. So I hope this whole args is clear to you. Now let's move on to kwargs. How kwargs works. So kwargs is basically used for keyword argument, which we have discussed, used to pass a variable number of keyword argument. See, you guys have noticed there is no name given here. All are values. I'm not giving r equal to 10. So this is a key, this is a value, which is not happening here. Now this will happen in the kwargs area. So used to pass a variable to a keyword argument in a function. Inside the function, kwargs is treated as a dictionary, which is key value pair based concept. Feature of kwargs are accept multiple keyword argument. The arguments are sorted in a dictionary, which was again sorted in your tuple also. Okay. And can iterate over key value pair only. So now these are the certain point which you should remember, that your args is a tuple based concept. Kwargs is a dictionary based concept. Okay. Then these kind of pointers like this will iterate over key and value, and your args was iterating over indexing. Okay, now let's go and run some of the example of kwargs and keyword parameters. Now this is pretty much easy. Def, then the function name, and then kwargs I'm passing. Then for loop, key and value in kwargs dot items. Basically, what is item? Item is basically to show the value. Okay, dot item is super important, and it's pretty much useful. It's very useful. So your item is a method here. Okay, just remember this, guys. This is very important. Okay, that the item statement, this kwargs dot item, okay, this is two things. Like kwargs is obviously the whole positional the keyword parameter repository which we pass. Then item is a method, and it's a method which helps actually kwargs to get the key value pair. So you will see multiple times that people are using dot item with kwargs. It's a super important concept. So for key value in kwargs dot item, it will help to fetch the key and value. This is a very simple one. Now print f string key and value. Now here I'm calling the function, just passing the value. This is your key, this is your value. This is your key, this is your value. This is your key, this is the value. Okay, it's very much easy, but you need to get the concept. Now let me do one thing. Let me run this, and then we'll do some tweaking in this code and we'll see the difference. If I run this piece of code, guys. So guys, if you notice here, so this is basically running a loop. Okay, without the loop, you will not be able to find iterations. If I remove the for loop, this won't work here. Okay, this is going to be an error. So that's why we use for loop so much in the case when you want to use kwargs as an option. Okay, how this basically works here is this go by iteration, like name is iteration 1, then age is iteration 2, then your location is iteration 3. Now if I remove the item from here, let's say if you guys think that previously how we were using in the previous example, I was just using args here. Okay, like here also I'm using args. Now if I run this piece of code without the item, so this will give you error. Okay, without the item, the kwargs cannot basically handle the key value pair. Now I'll just get it back. Okay, and one more thing, guys, this whole workbook of Python you will be able to download from my GitHub repository, so make sure that you are downloading that. Okay, all the codes will be there. Now let's run the example number 2 of kwargs. What is kwargs ka example number 2? So let's talk about it. Configure setting is the name of my function. What I'm doing, I'm just assigning some default value, like theme is light, font is this much, and then autosave is equal to true. Okay, now default dot update, there is a method which we use to update. Okay, that's what I'm using this particular keyword. Okay, so default values are these. Okay, then you're using the update keyword, and then you're passing the kwargs here. Now I'm printing the current setting of your system. So this will print the current setting for your system. Now for key value in default dot item, again I'm trying to fetch the key and value. Okay, so the same function you can see up there. This is the same value just to print the value. Now if I pass the, when I call the function, I'm passing the value theme equal to dark and autosave is false. So let me run this piece of code. So you can see that current setting says that theme is dark, font is Arial, autosave is false. So autosave value have been replaced. Okay, like if you see up there, so the autosave value was true, but in the output the value has been converted to false, and theme was light up there on line number 61. We mentioned theme as light here, while in the output you can see the theme is dark. So that's how we update the keyword parameter using this. Now let's move on to the third example. So this is basically talking about combining the regular arguments. Now there is a function print detail, and in function I'm passing mix sort of parameters I'm giving here. So I'm passing name, which is a positional parameter. Let's say again this is a positional parameter, and then I'm passing kwargs with this. So this is a combination of positional plus kwarg. Now here I'm printing name value, then I'm printing the age value, then I'm putting a for loop, which you already know. This is the third example I'm telling you guys, the for loop. Okay, so for key and value in kwargs.item, you need to remember this. Just remember this whenever you want to fetch the key value using the kwarg option. Now I'm passing the values when I'm calling the function. So name is Alice, and then the age is 28, and I'm passing some of the keyword or positional. Just check on this. Keyword, right? Yes. So keyword parameters are here, and then your positional parameter are here. So now when I'll run this piece of code, so this is a hybrid code which will execute everything. So you can see on your screen that the name is Alice, age is 28, location is California, profession is engineer. So this is about kwargs. Now if I want to combine, okay, combine of args and kwargs, you can use both arg and kwarg together in single function. Remember this, the order must always be regular argument, like you're passing args, then you're passing kwargs. So now this is a function, it talks about full detail. Okay, now I'm printing greetings, then inside that positional argument I'm just printing. Then there are two loops for args, which you guys already seen, for arg in args, and this is the parameter I'm passing. Then one more print statement, it will show you the positional parameter arguments first, then the keyword arguments. So for loop, again this is the same value which you guys have been seeing from last 3 example. Okay, now I am just giving so many parameters. Hello, Python is fun, so it has to identify by itself. Now that is the headache which the code need to take. Now I don't have to take that, and you don't have to take that. Let's run this piece of code. So you can say, you can see on your screen, hello is printed from where? Hello is the first one. Then second one is positional argument. Okay, then your loop runs, then it process Python. So after the first iteration, it will run the Python. Then is fun. Okay, then it print this message when the loop is completed for args. So second loop will start. So second loop starts here. Now it print that, then language equal to Python, which is given here, and version equal to 3.0. Okay, so this is all and all about the core of args and kwargs, which are basically hybrid sort of parameters, or you can say hybrid sort of arguments which we use in your functions in your day-to-day life. Now let's talk about some of the differences between both of them. So on your screen you can see there's a table which is talking about the difference, and again I'll say guys, you'll get this also in the GitHub repository, and I'll give the link in the description box. So don't forget to download both of the resources, like your Python code and your this particular I'll just see whether I can post the picture of this, or I can give this whole workbook to you. Now let's talk about the definition. So I already told you, okay, it works on the positional argument, this works on the keyword argument. Then non-keyword or unnamed argument, which you guys have already seen. Here the keyword or the key value pair need to be given. Now inside the function it's treated as a tuple. Just remember this, inside the function it is treated as a tuple. That's why you are seeing this sort of symbol. Then inside the function this is called or treated as a dictionary. So you know the concept of dictionary, key value pair. Now useful when the number of positional argument is not known before you're running your code. Similarly for the keyword one, now preceded with a single asterisk, this is preceded with double asterisk, so that is a mandatory condition which you need to apply. Now access via indexing or iterations. So both the things, indexing also works, or iteration means like for loop or while loop, anything, all the iterative actions you can do. Access via dictionary method like key, value and item. This is a very important point guys. I am giving a star to this point. Okay, just remember this. Now must appear before kwargs if both are used together. So there is a sequencing which I mentioned to you that you have to follow that particular sequencing, and must appear after args if both are used together. What does that mean? let me show back the code. So you guys, okay, this is pretty dirty. Let me clean this. So you guys can see here, the position is like this. So all args is coming primarily number one, then kwargs is coming at the second step. Let's go back to the differences and let's talk about the final example. You can see, so this is represented as a tuple, which I told you that this is the bracket which is used with the tuple. What is a tuple? Tuple is immutable. That is most important thing. It's a collection of data in Python which is immutable. Immutability means what? You cannot change. No change can be accommodated in a tuple, that is known as a tuple. Now, this is the example of kwargs, which is dictionary, nothing else. It is a dictionary and the key value pair. Okay. Now, on that note, guys, this whole video have been completed, and I hope this makes sense to you. And when you got to understand all this, you will not need any more material for both of these topics, which is args and kwargs. Both are very useful. Both are hybrid sort of things which are heavily used in the Python programming language. So make sure that you understand it correctly, and if you have still any question, so make sure that you do the comment and ask me whatever your doubts are. I will definitely reply to that. Other than that, both the things you can download from the GitHub repository. So on that note, guys, I will take your leave, and if you like the video, if you find that this video was helpful to you, please make sure that you put your comment. Please like my video. Please share this with your friends. Max to max, you can share it with your colleagues, your juniors, and make the reach for this video so that it can help me to contribute more to the community and give much more contributed pointed sort of data to all of you, so that it can help you in your career, and it can help you to secure the new jobs in your career. On that note, I will take a leave from you, and all the best, guys. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much.